So I took a week off because I ran out. I didn't smoke for a week because I ran out, and I really wanted to the whole time. I just didn't have time to get any.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
Really?
The whole time. I was just like, this sucks. I wish this would be a really great time to smoke a little bit of weed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weed is the weirdest thing like that. Where like I can go without it for a long time, and then I just go like.
It was almost like I don't know.
What's like I've stopped smoking weed for like months at a time, a couple times, and every time I've stopped smoking weed for like 2 months, 2 months go by, and I go, I could just smoke weed right now.
Yeah. I'm not bothering anyone.
It wasn't like a thing where like if I had like been like shooting heroin, I'd be like, oh my god, my life's getting so much better. My life just like stays like this, and I'm like, all right, I'm smoking weed again. Like,
Yeah.
There's no like grand revelation. My mind doesn't start working any differently. It's just like.
So I used to stop every November.
Did you?
Yeah.
With Joe Rogan?
No. It was before my son was born. I don't know why. I mean,
Sober October.
Yeah,
You're thinking no nug. You used to know no nug.
Yeah.
You did no nug November.
No November. Yeah. And I was like strict with that for a long time, and then
I think that's a good time to do it. Like right before you pig out for Christmas.
Right?
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was the perfect time. And then, but then when Ansley was pregnant with Finn, it was like, maybe I'll just smoke through this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Great
it's been
idea.
like that ever since.
And you've never. Are you going to bring back no nug November?
Well, I'm listening to hear where this.
I just did not enjoy it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
I will say,
it's not selling.
I will say though, there's the. I don't know if you've ever gotten into like the dark world of like all day dabbing. That's a dude. People can say that's not addictive. That's a real addiction. I know dudes that like can't sleep unless they like. I know dudes who just wake up at 4 a.m. and have to smoke weed and go back to bed
Those guys are pretty cool.
because their body wakes them up. It's like, dude, let's go.
Man, those guys are fucking all. I'm picturing one. He's wearing skateboard shoes.
Yeah, dude.
He's old enough to be going bald, and he's wearing skateboard shoes in his own house.
There was there was an article about that. How this one guy, he like people attacked him online for it, but he came out and was like weed's a drug now. You guys are all deluding yourselves. He was saying with like the amount to which people are ripping dabs and like how strong they are versus weed in like the 70s or 80s. He's like, it's a totally different substance. It's a totally different thing.
It's very funny that you
and
can't
now
remember who said it.
now the state's going to legalize it now that it's an actual drug. They're like, yeah, you guys are good for this. Go ahead. Pretty nuts.
Yeah, I remember hearing that similar sentiment, but I don't know, man. I think it's cool.
It rules.
Me personally,
it does rule. It does rule. But I will say, I don't know.
That was how I know I don't have a problem. I knew it was going to be a couple of days before I could re-up, and I was like, I'm going to test myself. How easy can I take it? And very quickly, I was just like, I would just prefer to be having access to weed right now. That's all. That's all it was.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I
don't have a problem.
It's the slipperiest. Well, it's just the slipperiest thing because it's like, dude, again, I went out Saturday, I drank, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to drink again for a long time, and that's a really easy one for me to uphold.
Yeah.
But yeah, with weed, it's just like you quit and then you just go. I will say though, when I the first couple weeks when I stopped smoking weed, I'm a little testy. I'm like, I'll start getting.
Maybe that's what it was,
dude. And this is. I've talked about this before, and I don't think it's ever made sense to anyone. The only thing that happens that's really weird to me when I stop like completely get weed out of my system, things start like smelling a certain way. It reminds me of like I feel the way I did when I was young, like, and it's like a weird vague sense. But I started smoking weed when I was like 17, like a decent amount.
And you're saying odors transport you?
I can't fuck it. They do. Odors do transport me.
What kind? Like what? Can you tell me a couple that come to mind?
It'll be like just the smell of outside as it is. Like if I'm like a certain area, like the trees, I'll smell outside as it is and be like, I haven't smelled the world didn't smell.
That's your Nintendo 64.
So that was one thing I was always like, this is kind of weird, and it sounds like schizophrenic to explain, but I'm serious.
But it makes sense. It's like your olfactory fucking memory senses like recalibrating after something not being connected to like the weed.
Something I don't know what it is.
You do think and recalibrate. You think differently when you're high, right?
Well, you
connect things differently.
Yeah, and it's like I get in touch with a different baseline operating feeling state, basically, that I've basically avoided for fucking like 30 years through my use of marijuana. And then it comes and I'll go, oh, that's how my baseline was when I was like a kid. And I go, whoa, weird. And And then I wait 2 weeks, and I'm like, guys, I'm
I think I could have some.
whatever.
I think I proved my point. I'm going to have a little bit. I think that's fine.
But now that I say that, I forgot all about that. I'm like, damn.
You start like, I've actually been I've been using my time pretty well. I've been pretty busy every day. I think it's okay if I have a little bit of.
And that's the thing. It is
a little bit of dad nip.
It is dad nip, dude.
Dad got into the nip. Oh, dad wants to play drums with us. Dad got into the nip.
Yeah, I'm not painting it as a bad thing at all. It's just I am always it's the most like and that's the only what I get like really high, and all I think about is the fact that I get really. I'm like, why do I get this high? And I just go like,
Yeah.
And then I get like, and then it goes away. And I'm like, I'm glad that's done with. And I'm like 2 weeks later, I'm like, I'm gonna get that high again.
Yeah.
Like,
I like to get so high that I feel guilty. As soon as I hit guilt, I'm like, woo, I did it. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to feel this nice. That's how I know I've nailed it.
Perfect.
I've smacked into the wall.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. I get like an intense rush of anxiety, and I'm forced to solve a problem I don't want to deal with, and I just go like, yeah, I should probably fucking think about that. Then it just fucking I'm like,
I think that's what I do instead of watch television.
Just freak
Like
out.
I used to sit on the couch and watch TV, and now I smoke weed until I have to fight my way out of my own mind.
Yeah, dude. It's the ultimate move. It's the ultimate.
I'm just sitting in a gaming chair with my eyes unfocused, and I'm just like, no, dude.
What's when you're fighting your way out of your own mind? What's the opening screen like? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's
Mega
the
Man
first?
2 for sure.
Okay, so what's the first little animation that happens before we get into the game? Like, what lets us know what this game is about to be like?
It starts at the bottom of a very primitive, like in 8-bit graphics, like skyscraper office-looking building, and it scrolls up very slowly. And as it goes up, it looks more and more advanced, and you're getting higher and higher, and it's rising above the other buildings. And then on top of it, it's just me with my hair waving in the wind. Maybe it's like raining, and then there's another version of me, but he's like wearing the opposite color clothes. So
like,
you know that we're like the inverse of each other.
You're on the top of a skyscraper, and he's like, "What are you
So you have
doing?
to fight your way all the way up to you.
And that's when it starts. Yeah.
What are
pretty
you even
sick.
doing?" And you're like,
Is it-
"I don't even have to answer to you, dude."
Is it top floor like futuristic Tokyo?
Yeah, top floor is like, this is your last chance to turn back, dude. Final boss is right ahead. Here, actually, here's some health items. Here's a save point. That's at the top floor.
It's just your shame
And then
up there.
That's the last mini boss, and then there's some reward items right behind it. Yeah, some late game loot. Yeah, that's what's going on up there.
Yeah,
I could not wait to get back to that.
yeah. I don't know. It is curious to figure out like specifically what people freak out about from weed, because there's usually like, I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm going to die. There is though that like you learn to that's like an electric fence I hit in my brain every now and again. I learned how to kind of like just walk the edges of it.
Yeah.
And for me, like a lesser version of that, what used to happen to me a lot was like I'd be high, I'd be in my house, and all of a sudden like every single thing in my house looked wrong. Like I'd be like, what the fuck is that? What's that thing? This shit didn't look like this. And I'm like, why do I live here? And I would just like start, because I was always in rented apartments. Because I'd always, my whole like from my adulthood was just I'd be in a different rented apartment, and I'd be like, what the fuck is this place, dude? I don't know any of these people around me. This is crazy. And I would just start, that would be my like grade B bug out. I'd have to be like, dude, it's cool.
Did you miss
Nothing.
Did you miss living with mommy and daddy?
No, not at all.
Really?
I moved out. I went to college at 18. That was just kicking around.
Yeah.
So like I was an independent bird. Because I couldn't like, I always needed to have like a half pound of weed on me, so I couldn't bring it to my parents' house. That was the one thing that stopped me from moving forward. I was like, they're not down with trapping at all. At the time, it was very important to me.
Especially more of a trap basement.
I'd sit in the house. I'd trip like, Mom, can I please trap the basement?
Wow.
Dude, have you ever been in a like? Have you ever had a dude who traps, design a finished basement and then see it?
No.
Dude, they might be the nastiest designers of interior basements.
They got fish tanks?
Bro. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep. Okay, that tracks.
White tile floors. For like a big like velvety red bed in the bottom. A retarded projector that is like literally too big for this. It's the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't think there's obviously a Scarface poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. But come on.
It'll be like it's so fucking funny. It'll be like a row home in Philadelphia Like you're like the door's all fucked up, and then you go into the basement. And it's like a jacuzzi in the basement, red painted walls, white tile, and it's like, dude,
washer and dryer.
It's crazy, dude. He even tried to grow weed in his bathroom,
dude,
under like shitty LED lights, and I was like, dude, this is not going to work.
I wonder if you could do like a homemade Sibian on top of the washer and dryer. Dude, you got to check this out.
Yeah.
Girls come and sit on this? No, but like I've been hitting girls up.
Yeah, dude, I like spent time in this dude's trapped out base. I remember at one point he did so much Xanax I had to wake him up while we were counting money. I was like, dude, this is your money. I got to leave now. He was like,
nice.
I was like, all right, bro, later. Imagine decorating a room that sick though and taking so many Xannies that you passed out counting racks. It's kind of sick though. Dude rules. Was counting racks and was like, oh, I'm fucking so sleepy. Even put I was watching music videos on my fucking projector screen all night. I am taking Xanax. I'm so sleepy, dude. I'm so successful.
Dude, heavy is the head, dog.
Oh,
dude,
man. That'd be so funny,
command.
nudging a guy awake while Eiffel 65 is blasting. Hey.
He had a dude who was like his gatekeeper, because so he'll have a dude who'll like will kind of do everything, and he's a level boss. And I met this dude through some guy that I knew, and that dude lived in another house in Philadelphia, and he had an interior door. He lived in a basement as well, but he had somehow it was like access to the like very ground floor through the side, and it was just like an interior bedroom door as their exterior door. And I had to meet this guy, and you walked in, and he would just blaze rocks in conversation and be like, yo, what's good, bro? I had to be like, I was like, there has to be. I figured it out. I was like, can't be the dude. There's no way you can this dude doesn't have a door. You can't. There's no way you have the birds, dude, if you don't have a door. I remember I figured it out, and I was like, all right. And I weaseled around him. Got to the finished basement in Northeast. Dude, I'm an absolute sicko, dude. I'm sick.
You figured it out.
Wait, are you saying you jumped rank on this guy?
No, I just weaseled my way around it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I had this dude who was like an absolute like cracked out minion. It's just a guy like
Matt was working his way up through entrance.
I'm saying you followed the chain.
It was like a beaded. It was a beaded curtain he had to get through one time.
You'd be chilling, and all of a sudden like you'd have a dude just orbiting around you, like just coming by to grab stuff, and they'd fuck up and end up owing you money. So then you'd be like, all right, bro, you're in the hole. And they'd be like, yo, they always have get rich quick schemes. They're like, okay, I fucked up, but I know this guy, he can get pounds of weed. I'll hook you up to him. And it's like, you have to go, you're like, I'll never get money anyway. So you're like, for sure. Then you just be in some dude's apartment with this cracked out dude, It's the worst. It's like we're like 7 degrees away from just like nightmarish people, dude.
Yeah.
So like.
It's like 2 or 1 degree.
So then you go, exactly. So now you go to there was like this cracked out dude. He showed me a dude who actually did smoke crack. And then he was like, I got the beasters. And I was just like, I don't think he has the beasters, dude. And then I'd be like, and we got home and I had like the cracked out dude. I'm like, yo, where's he getting them from? He's like, you can't tell anyone, but it is his boy and he's up here. And
it was that easy. Just that easy. Who's the plug?
That easy, bro. That easy. Dude, I'm like, dude, that's bullshit, man. Who's the real guy? He's like, you can't. I'll see if I can talk to him.
Whoa. You asked for the manager.
Yeah, I did. I was like, that is not.
Wow. That's awesome.
Very crazy. But
this dude burn incense or anything?
No. Yeah, like, did you get to cooler and cooler dudes?
It stinks?
Cigs, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Cigs, yeah.
Yeah, like were the dudes cooler as you went up the ranks?
It depends. Some, yes. Then some are just like on the verge of like the most of like probably like a home invasion murder. There's some dudes that were like, some dudes were kind of, well, it's weird because some dudes like, it's hard to explain because there were some guys you could tell like didn't grow up in like these guys grew up in like a fucked up environment. Now there was guys who kind of were able to like live a normal life, and then there was dudes that Scarface postered up and were like, I'm a legit career. Like there was dudes who like thought if they were a criminal, they had to fit like a very specific archetype of being like,
so let me ask you
this is what I do, this is what I like, and it's all the stuff that gets you arrested.
So maybe this is just in my mind because of movies and shit, but was there a Rastafarian level? Did you have to go through like a cool Jamaican guy that was like in a smoky room that you could barely see because of the smoke and the dim lighting?
I had intense contact and friendship with a Jamaican fella, yes.
Sick. Sick.
That's terrifying.
Steve's a man.
Yeah,
Steve's a man.
Oh, okay.
I'm imagining a chill, cool one. There can be a scary one too.
I was
There's a scary
imagining
one,
the
too.
guy where it's like kind of intimidating and it's like so smoky in the room you can barely even see his face. Plus he's wearing sunglasses and he won't look directly at you. And he's telling other people to deal with you. That's what I was imagining.
No, mine has two white bitches laying on him.
No. See, that's what everyone thinks. It's not like that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just dudes in apartments who are so nervous, dude. Just being like, who the fuck's it? How do you know this fucking guy? You cool? Okay. It's usually a guy like who's fucked up on some level, just being like, all right, dude, here's the fucking deal. And you're just sitting there being like, that dude's probably going to implode.
Yeah.
That dude's going to implode. And you're like, I got to get away from these guys.
Yeah. Man, when I'm getting paranoid off of smoking too much, I was hit by a car and I had to be resuscitated on the spot. And it's that information fucks you up.
You were dead. You're on the other side.
Yeah. And so when I get really fucked up, I start getting paranoid off of whether or not I am alive.
Oh man!
And
you're
then,
like the dude from Coco. You start going to the other side.
Yeah, dude. And then, so daydreams used to fuck
That's
me up.
fucked up, dude.
Dude, when I was a kid,
You're not
laying in a fucking hospital bed after being told by my family, by doctors, how lucky I was to be alive because I was dead when they found me.
Yeah.
Right. So then daydreams would fuck me up because you daydream really vividly.
Yeah.
And you're living in an alternative world, and it's like, what the fuck was that? Do you know what I mean? Like, am I alive?
you're in the roller coaster daydream and sitting in your desk in school and like waking up suddenly and you're going, whoa, am I alive?
All the time. I still do that to this day. This day, I don't know if I'm alive. Like, I swear to you, I'm just
it would be pretty bad for me personally if you're not alive.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, dude, if I found out I was just part of your dying dream, like in Jacob's Ladder, I'd be pretty miffed.
dude, you're one of the coolest guys I got.
And I might not even exist.
Yeah, but you're a good character for me.
I'm in a guy's rotting brain right now.
Dude, I got you. I got Tim.
This fucking sucks, dude. This is the worst day of my life. How do I go on?
Imagine how awesome it is for me, though.
True. That's terrifying, though.
It is. It freaks. Like, daydreams still fuck me up. Like, if I get lost in a daydream, it's like I don't know. It's like for a second, it's like, what is this? What is anything?
If you just stop and kind of fantasize for a while.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Where
like,
do you go? Where do you start off? Where do you go? Okay, smooth sailing, and then it's like, guess what, dude? It's the little ghosts from the movie Ghosts, that like the little shadow guys that are like, and they're coming to get you. Where are you trying to go when they show up? What are you fantasizing about?
so, dude, it's not even it's I wish there were guys that were coming to get me, but it's like a whole fucking 4D reality that I have to deal with. Like, I'm dealing with like,
Hold on. What are you talking about?
well, so that's what I'm saying.
He's on the inside of an impossible geometry.
Yeah.
Matt, please keep up.
Yes. Like, so
He's trapped in a reverse prism.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I'm in a whole other 3D reality where people are considering
that is
beyond.
dead guy stuff, by the way.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not a live daydream.
Yeah. That's like,
Hold on.
this is what I'm saying.
Hold on. So is it 3 or 4D, dude? You're hitting me.
Okay. So I said 4D and to add the dimension that in this 3-dimensional world, people are still also contemplating what's beyond. Like, it's a world. It's a world where there's science, there's society. It's like it's very thorough. It's a very thorough world.
All right, we're still in this total setup.
Now you're losing me.
So where's the 4th dimension? You just described the world as it is.
Yeah. So
Are
when
you daydreaming the whole world, dude?
Exactly,
That sounded
dude.
just like the world. No. But that's what a daydream is. It's about the world.
I am daydreaming in existence, right?
Oh,
Which
man.
everybody is doing, but everybody else is doing it without the caveat that they were dead once.
My God.
Hold on. But
Sid, this couldn't be there couldn't be a worse time for you to come out as a solipsist.
I don't know what that is.
What?
All right, good.
I always call it a solipsist.
Oh yeah, you might be right. Sorry.
I could be wrong.
I don't know what that is either.
Oh yeah, I found out the word. Well, we'll get into solipsism in a minute. Actually, we put up. We have the online because I can never fully wrap my head. Dude, I figured out the
Actually, look at
word.
the pronunciation first, if you wouldn't mind.
I figured out the word. I fucked up. Another word I fucked up on stand up. I think you saw this. I called it an adage.
Yeah.
Instead of an old
Instead of an
adage.
old
I was on
adage.
stage like, the old
Old
adage
adage.
goes, and everyone was like,
La di da.
I came off stage. I'm like, what was so funny? Shane's like, dude, it's an adage. He's like, you seriously didn't know that? And I was like, no, dude, I've only ever read that word. I thought it was adage.
What's the word Danny's
I thought
looking
it was
up?
French. Solipsism.
It's
SOLIPISM. Can we have a spelling bee?
SISM. No, it's PSISM. Don't delete anything.
True.
There you go.
There it is.
True, I was wrong.
Is this maybe the worst use of the technology we have on hand?
Solipsism?
No,
Solipsism.
I'm saying solipsism. Okay.
Solipsism.
I don't even know which one I said.
You said that one. You were correct.
Sick.
Yeah,
So what is that?
I think that's what I fuck with.
Oh, well, where'd you read the thing?
It's viewer theory that the self is all that can be known to exist.
Right. And so if you're the one that realizes it, then you're the only one that exists.
That's what I always thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, that's not what I think it is.
Well, you tell us, man. We're all living in your brain.
But you have
it's literally your universe, dude. Why don't you tell us what it means?
but my universe is intermingling with your universe.
I'll take your word for it. Please just don't wake up from the dream and fucking make me die.
Or you don't wake up because you might fucking make me die.
No.
Yeah, they're saying your mind is the only thing that exists.
Yeah. And each person you bump into is a person who also is a set of their own existence based off of their perception in mind.
Right.
So it's like
yes, I understand that concept, but
I've
traditionally,
mentally run away. This is another thing that happened to me when I was stoned. I've encountered this concept and ran away from it screaming. Just being like,
no way. I think it's
like
so fun.
Abort. I'm like, I've come down the tunnel to this exact realization. I just go, I just fucking run as fast away mentally as I possibly can.
wait, is solipsism the same as narcissism?
No, it's not. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. I want to see why they think it's not.
I think they're two totally different things.
Yeah. Do you see that,
Yeah.
Danny?
No, forget that. We don't need to. We don't need to dig into that.
Yeah. You're on the way. Yeah.
See, it's part. Oh shit.
Solipsism is partly about narcissism, but the distinction between solipsism and narcissism is a subtle but important part of that same discussion. That confused me.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's
what that
saying
means.
so it's like solipsism is a philosophical outlook that being a narcissist could possibly exist in, which it doesn't need to be in there to exist. But they're saying that's like an overall theory. Narcissism's a whole like mental process of making certain actions and doing certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But are they saying in the second half of that sentence? Are they saying that just the fact that there is a distinction between them is part of why they're different? What is that? The distinction between them.
Dude, this is when
is
people
a subtle but important part of that same discussion. What the fuck?
That's a doctor's way of saying they don't know.
Yeah.
They'll say it's a subtle but important.
Not
thing.
knowing is actually part of understanding.
Yeah,
sure.
Leave room for they told me that. Yeah, just leave room for like the ambiguous. Like you're just not gonna know.
I agree with that.
It's like
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, dude. Can I have $50,000 back right now? If I can never know, I'll take my $50,000 back.
Sid's actually panicking right now because he knows whatever part of his like mind and soul was supposed to have this figured out for us, like dropped the ball, and he's like, "Oh shit, no, it's all gonna come crumbling down, dude."
Well, I'm honestly disappointed that I can't read it clearly.
We're approaching your central cortex, dude. We're shutting down the machine.
No, dude, I'm losing my vision.
We're stealing the coordinates.
I'm
Dude,
like. I'm pretending to be able to read
me
this.
Losing my vision.
Yeah, I'm pretending to be able to read this right now. But actually no, I have pilot's vision. But my world, my shit's getting blurrier. I mean, I can't read. We have a reading test right now.
Yeah. Put the fucking vision board on that right now. Put the vision test.
Don't do this to me. Guys.
What was the daydream? I never got. You just explained the world.
It's not the
basically
daydream.
plays the
daydreaming
Sims.
in general.
Okay.
Daydreaming in general used to fuck me up when I was a kid because it was very shortly after finding out that I was dead, right?
Right.
Then you're daydreaming in a hospital bed of not being in a hospital bed. And then you come back to your life and it's like, what the fuck is what?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So you were having like vivid out of your body. What I'm imagining is like I'm driving my car, I'm hearing a song and I'm imagining myself ripping the solo.
Okay, so
that's like 80% of my daydreams. I'm just like
So
I wrote this song. This is all me.
So every time you bounce back from a dream, right?
Yeah.
You have this you're like, okay, that was a dream, and you move on, right? Imagine if you couldn't have that anymore because you were recently told that you were dead. What happens after you die?
Beetlejuice.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like there's so many, you don't know what's like reality. Reality is a very fucked up thing for a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, you also glimpsed the other side and came back.
Yeah, I think people were just hitting you up for knowledge. People were probably badgering you for knowledge now that you had a glimpse. Now you have a foot in both worlds.
What I was curious, Butterly asked you specifically, what do you daydream about?
Dude, I
feel like you avoided the question. You described The Sims 4.
It's not anything that I'm daydreaming about. It's just waking up, going to school, it's just life.
But there's a distinct, that's not that's living life. That's
no. That's you can't if you're in a hospital
bed. We are in the dream.
If you're in a hospital bed,
yeah, okay,
and you're vividly like in reality, you're in a hospital bed, in traction, arm up, leg up, can't move, right? You are vividly feeling the wind, waking up, feeling yourself, like feel the momentum of yourself, getting out of bed, taking your covers off, in a house, going downstairs, eating breakfast.
Okay, that makes sense. You were having like out of body experiences, basically.
I don't label it anything.
But what do you daydream about now? Was the question.
It's literally same shit.
Of just
so like me seeing the world through the eyes of a different human, just existing.
So you have daydreams as you as a kid laid in a hospital bed.
No.
Dude, imagine if Sid quantum leaped into your brain and got your ass beat at the supermarket.
That's more like what it is.
I'm so confused.
But it's quantum leap.
Quantum leap when he naps. He inhabits the mind and body of another person.
Maybe.
And makes their decisions for them. And gets them into arguments with cashiers.
Shit, dude.
And then Sid wakes up and a guy is standing there like screaming at a waitress or something.
First of all, I've been doing really good about that lately. I had an opportunity to
I feel like we're on
get an argument with the
glass
cashier.
and we're about to completely fall into your mind. I feel like we're like walking on the thinnest of ice above your psyche.
Wait. I need to defend myself about this. I don't fight cashier. Listen, I could have fought a cashier recently and I fucking...
What happened?
Dude, so I was going... Man, we were coming back from New York after Ansley. Connecticut to New York to home, right?
Yeah.
Ansley fought some chicks in Connecticut. Now we're going home, making a trip. I did a good job coaching. I'm feeling good. I want a donut. Every fucking Dunkin' Donuts that we pass is closed. It's like they just close at whatever time they want now, right?
That's bullshit.
Like so we finally get on the highway. We get to one of these road stop Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm sitting in a drive-through for like 3 minutes, and they're not dealing with me. I know they can see me. I know they have cameras.
Yeah.
So after a while, I go up to the window, and they're just walking back and they see me at the window visibly because they can see me outside the window, and I know they have cameras where they can see me at the window.
You have to drive through Dunkin' Donuts.
At the drive-through.
What time is this?
It was like 11-ish.
11 p.m.
Yeah, 11 p.m. Right.
Yeah.
So I started knocking on the window.
Yeah.
And they're just walking back and forth, ignoring me. So then I go out, I turn left to go back, like what you can't because like the traffic should only be going one direction.
Yeah.
So I go.
So you break a law.
I do break a law.
You're like a bear outside a campground.
Yes. I want a donut, man. I've been driving for hours hitting like fucking dark
I nudge the door handles with my snout.
Yes. Yeah.
I know they can see me.
I scratched on the window a few times.
Stand on my rear legs to make myself larger.
Oh my god! There's a poor, nice Hindu family's in there frying the dough for tomorrow.
It wasn't.
Sid steams the glass, dude. He comes by.
That's not what it was.
Like Jurassic Park, he just goes. Oh.
No, that's not what it was.
Their coffee coladas started to bounce in their cup. Sid's bass.
Clever jerk.
That's not what it was. It's not what it was. It was a young black dude and a young Puerto Rican chick. That's not what it was.
Okay.
This is not my typical. See, again, typically Indians.
So the Brahmin cast wasn't there.
No, they crush it every single time. I never have a problem with the boys.
True.
Right? But the unusual crew was in there, right?
You're the weirdo.
You're dealing with night shift. That's all.
Exactly.
You're
right?
the fucking weirdo.
So I go
the
in.
dab guys.
Yeah. So when I go in, she sees me first and then looks at him and they start laughing. I'm like, all right.
Ooh.
All right. We'll see. So there's some cool old head black dudes in front of me in line, just kicking signs back and forth. Right. And the one guy paid for everything.
Dude, I can't stop thinking about the 11 p.m. donut circuit, dude. And who you're running into. That's crazy.
Yeah, these old heads were cool, man. The one guy was buying all the stuff, and the other guy was trying to give him money for it, and he wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take the $5.
Yeah.
So he gave the entire $5 to the chick as a tip.
Nice.
So cool old head shit, right?
Yeah, it's tight.
And they moved down, and then now it's my turn. She leaves the register and goes talks to the black dude as he's making their drinks. Like she's making it a point to talk loudly enough so that I have to watch her not make drinks, but also not help me.
Yeah.
Like, and she stayed there the whole time. And then she comes back over to me with a completely different level of service and attitude than she just had for the old head black dudes.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just stared at her.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let her know.
I just stared at her for a very good awkward amount of time.
What was the selection behind her? Were you eyeing up the donuts while you're standing her down? Be honest.
I was. I would look at her. I angled myself so I had to look through her at the donut. So, but I was like really giving her a good looking. And I waited. She asked me if she could help me, and I just stared right into her eyes, like directly into her eyes. And then
how old was she?
She's probably like 28. Like between 28 32. Like she was like too old to be acting as immature as she was acting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like also you kind of understand why she works at Dunkin' Donuts with that behavior. Mm-hmm. Right?
And this was this weekend.
Yes.
And this was your counterpoint to me saying that you get into direct confrontations with ladies at cash register.
Hold on, listen, it's not over. It's not over. It's not over.
Makes perfect sense to me. Actually, just glad to be here. I'm just glad to be alive.
I said arguments.
Don't wipe us out.
And you're totally right.
And that was the claim. The claim, right? So
you're right on the money yet again.
Yeah.
So you took it to the astral realm.
Up, dude. We're gonna die.
I took it to the astral realm on it. I gave her the evil eye.
You took her to the fourth dimension.
I forced her to have to confront and deal with my evil eye. And I took very long to order each donut, like very, very long. So she went back, got the donut, had to come back, asked me what I wanted, and I never said...
This was a multi-stage battle.
Yeah, dude, this is wild, man.
So I did that until the smile was wiped off her face. Because, first of all...
That's assault, by the way.
It is.
That is
it's astral assault. It's astral assault. I will admit. Right?
That's Grand Theft Smile.
Yeah.
So you went in and psychically conquered her.
I didn't try to. It's like if I would have went in and we would have been like, I would have buried the hatchet of what just happened.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fine. Give me my donuts and I'm out of here. But you
just had a puny humans moment.
No, it was like, dude, if this is the game you play, this is the type of dude that can walk in and play this type of shit.
Whoa.
Are you comfortable with this?
Damn.
You could have, and now you have to fucking deal with that. Now she has to deal with that.
And what happened? So you pulled up and they saw you.
Yeah.
And they just were like,
yeah,
dude,
right.
They
fucking
said,
yeah, in your dreams.
No, they looked at each other.
Not these donuts.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
They mocked me, man.
So they were just like, we're not doing
They
driving.
openly mocked.
Like, we're not doing driving.
No, they were. They were dealing with a drive-thru person right as when I was coming around leaving.
Yeah.
The black.
What do you think it was about you that they didn't like?
I think they don't like that I skipped the line, and I think they were like classifying me as an impatient customer.
Ooh.
Which
wait, what lines you skip?
Because I was at the drive-thru, the part to order.
Yeah.
They never said anything.
Yeah.
So I went to the window.
Now, did you honk and go hello?
No. I knocked on the window.
I would have honked and went hello.
I knocked on the window a couple times.
Yeah.
As the dude was walking by, I know he could hear me knocking.
Were there other cars in front of you in the drive-thru?
As I was coming around, there was one car getting a drink and then pulling off. They were getting like a fucking coffee drink and then pulling off.
Lucky.
You know what I mean?
And then you pulled up and it was just radio silence for how long?
Oh, so I was 3 minutes at the speaker window, and then I would say another.
Now, did you time it, or was it like the length of one song? How sure are we it was 3 full minutes?
Oh no, I start timing after 30 seconds. So but I start timing. I'm like, this is long. I always start timing.
Okay.
So from when I started timing, 3 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
Right, and then when I got to the regular window, again from when I started timing, like about 3 minutes. Right. As I'm like me knocking on the window as he's walking back and forth, purposely like keep his neck, strong forward so he's not looking at me out of the peripheral.
Backwards so he doesn't have to.
It was pissing me off. But again, in their defense, that move that I just did, like going from the speaker without giving an order and going to the window, as a drive-through, you're seeing that as a worker, you're like, dude, what a fucking impatient douchebag.
Yeah.
They don't know that I hit like 4 or 5 dark Dunkin' Donuts on the way, sat in drive-thrus with people. Dude,
that's the thing they didn't know.
They didn't have that backstage.
Did you pull into each parking lot?
What's up?
You pulled into each parking lot.
No, after a while.
You were with Ansley.
Yeah, dude, there was one we pulled into. The lights were on. And as we were pulling in, like we went to the drive-through window, we saw them turn the lights off and just like wave at us. So it was like that type of shit was happening.
They said, "You thought."
Yeah. And I was finally about to get a donut. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was
Sorry,
so
man.
saw evil eyed that bitch.
Sorry, I had to go through all.
So you still technically fight. You fought. That was a fight.
It was an astral fight. I'm saying I'm not fighting in the I'm not fighting in the third dimension anymore, dog.
You know what sucks is that it was 11 p.m. That donut was rock hard. When it finally got
It sucked. All three of them sucked. I ordered 3 donuts. I got because I ordered. They got a cookie dough donut or a brand new sugar cookie donut.
I could do a vanilla frosted right now if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I want sugar cookie, vanilla frosting with sprinkle, sugar cookie, but like a very long time in between each.
Is it a limited time donut? Sugar
It is.
cookie?
It is.
So you went with the special.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them were like kind of stale.
Yeah, they all sucked.
Brutal, man.
Dude.
That's the depths.
So what do you daydream about? What do you daydream about?
Why do you
Besides,
not follow?
other than
Why do you
donut.
not follow?
I can't figure. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not being a dick. I genuinely don't understand it. I'm still confused. We're also all high as fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out. I don't get it.
What do you daydream about?
Ripping guitar solos. If I have to like fight people down at the park.
Let me ask you this question.
Pretty much.
When you're ripping guitar solos in your daydream, are you seeing it from the third person? Are you looking at yourself ripping guitar solos? Or are you seeing out of your eyes as the guitar player?
Not seeing anything. I'm literally looking at the road, and it's more of like just like a palpable thought form. So when I'm daydreaming, I'm not like visualizing all this stuff for the most part. Sometimes I kind of will on some level, but I still see everything. I'll just not pay attention to what I'm seeing really, and just be like so deep in like just the feeling of what it would be like to be ripping the solo.
So what I'm saying is, as somebody that doesn't have to question whether or not they're alive, you kind of have the privilege to not have to consider the dimensions around you. You know, I have to be like, dude, is this shit real? I've
done that. I've done that before. You don't have, you know what I mean? I've done that. I swear to God, I have hit levels where I'm like, dude, what the fuck even is this?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like having that, you can always come back to the baseline as that is a dream, right? From a little kid, but now you're talking about a kid that's starting that in his mind because of the way people are acting around him and the way things are being explained to me. I just got restarted at like 9 years old.
Sure.
You know? So like I had a grasp on reality up until then. And up until then, people didn't die and come back alive.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So from that point on, it's like, what the fuck is reality? You know, and if people did die and come back alive, it didn't happen. It was in movies.
It was zombies.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's like, what the fuck is anything?
You ever think you're a zombie?
No. It's something to consider.
Okay, well,
I do like eating
cool.
pussy.
Pussy.
I could be a pussy zombie.
Dude, that's the thing. I understand that whole concept. What's the content of your daydreams? That's all I'm asking. Well, Butterly asked it. What are the content? Mine are guitar solos.
He has like Inception style abstract daydreams, dude. You wouldn't understand. It's not worth it.
I'm not saying you wouldn't understand. I'm
wanted to
shocked
use
you
words?
don't understand.
You wanted to use words to describe what he's experiencing. It's not like that.
True.
It's like, see what we're doing right now? This could literally be one of my daydreams. Just like me just going through the course of a day.
But like buildings are turning inside out and like spinning around and stuff, and it looks awesome.
That's not happening.
This is what I do.
happening.
I sit there and I'm driving and I go, what if there were some older kids that were mean to Maya and they tried to throw a ball at her? And I stop and I go, bro, I'd kick that ball so fucking hard. It's like, yeah, but like, what would you say to them? I'd say, what the fuck are you guys doing? You guys think you're fucking... And that's my whole daydream is I like live out a scenario and then I edit it and go, that would be sicker.
Wait, but you consider that a daydream? That's like you're thinking, you're imagining. That's like imagining and daydreaming are the same.
Yeah, but I'm more involved in imagining that than I am with what I'm doing.
Yeah, wait, are you talking about like laying down and going to bed and having a dream but the sun is out?
No. Daydreams are something that you get pulled into.
Yeah, for sure.
You like you know like you almost like lose time. You like black out a little bit, right?
For sure.
You don't talk yourself into a daydream. That's just like riffing.
You might have
mind.
epilepsy.
I'm a lucid daydreamer, bro. I'm a lucid.
Yeah, I'm in complete control.
There's people who are fantasizing lightly all day. Pretty much, there's people who say that's basically what your whole mind is doing. It's just constantly fantasizing little scenarios, and you just choose one of them.
Yeah, but that's just imagination. That's just your imagination having fun.
So what? But do you have to be still for a daydream? Like, what do you?
No, it's just like when you just lose a moment and when you're not in control of what your brain is constructed.
Yeah, I do that 50% of the time when I'm driving. You're driving, all of a sudden it's
I
like,
lose time on the road all the
you're
time.
so deep in thought, you're like, how did I even get here? I wasn't looking
Exactly. And when you're in that type of deep thought, are you controlling it, or are you just kind of like riding the wave?
It's a little bit of both. It's just kind of like you go here, you go there, and it's just like, that would be cool about that. And you're like, a referee into that thing, and it's like, oh, actually, no, this would be. And then it's
That's me doing like administrative cleanup in my brain.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't consider that daydreaming.
Well, that's the only thing that I do.
Yeah.
There's not other stuff that I do with my brain.
Yeah.
But
again,
but here's the question. So when you completely, like, barring the distinction, when you do go off into a day, you're saying you never even leave? You have no show to
let
leave
me
from?
just say it like this. So that's what you do with your brain.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a daydream is what your brain does with itself. Like your brain just takes the reins. For
I
a
think
second.
I think I took the keys a long time ago. I think I said you had enough. And he hasn't earned it back yet.
I just want to know what you daydream about, dude. You won't tell me. You won't tell me.
Do you, I mean,
Talk shows, kicking balls. Sex, if I'm being honest.
Do you want me to tell you what I have fun imagining and like doing with my like the imagination
No, what do you
stuff that I do with my
daydream
brain?
about?
Again,
You gave me a taste. You did 4 dimensions, dude. Now I want to know. You said it's a 4-dimensional world, and I said, dude,
Okay.
please break this down.
do you accept my definition of daydreams? Let's start there.
I don't even
For you, I guess.
understand it to accept
We're
it.
talking about very subjective
Then
stuff.
then if you accept that, if it's my subjective definition of daydreams, right, that you accept, which is something that
You can't be conscious at all within it.
yeah, there's no conscious level of control in it.
That's what a dream is.
Yeah, and then you can have those while you're awake,
Okay.
and that would be considered a daydream,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. So what do you
do-
where
you
do you
don't-
go during that? That's all I'm interested in.
I just live. I just go to I just wake up as me and live my day. Go somewhere. Who knows?
If you're sitting down watching a game, it gets boring. You'll just all of a sudden, this reality blacks out, and you're now waking up in another one. That's what I'm confused about.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't call it that because I feel like I'm me everywhere that I am.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm waking up as another person. I just feel like I'm, like I'll get up from where I am and just go. And then like I'll open up a door and the world will be just like slightly different.
But then you snap back.
Yeah.
So what do you do between then and snapping back? You just literally walk around the world?
Dude, yeah, go to
So
my
you
car.
have a screensaver, basically.
run errands.
You're playing Brain Theft Auto.
Yeah.
That's what it actually is.
Yeah. Like, dude,
You're
it's
just
not
in control. Do you like
it's
pull
not
people
that
out of their
exciting.
cars and drive around and shit?
No, I have my own car.
Do you get 5 stars? Do you get helicopters
You think I'm an
coming
Uber
after you?
driver? Am
That's
I
what I
a
would
fucking-
do.
No. But no, yeah, I'm just living a life. I'm just like going, just doing things.
And they're not in any way better, like a more fantasized, idealized version of your life?
No, that's what I do when I'm having like my thought time, my imagination time. I do cool shit because I'm in control of it. But I'm not in control of the other one. It's just things are happening. And like my brain is like running a subroutine, like about life.
Your brain is off the rails, man.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
You need to get control of that shit.
I'm okay with it. You guys are the
for
ones
now,
confused.
for
I'm
now.
fine.
I'm
now.
so confused.
Yeah.
It's cool though. I've never considered that at all. I always I'm bopping around, and all of a sudden I'm driving, and I'm like, yeah, this would be cool. And I come back, I'm like, oh, fuck, what was that? And I go, all right, and I keep driving. I've never like lost my body and just like started taking out the trash. Oh fuck, I'm back. Was I just taking out the trash in my mind? It's like,
Was I just beating a guy's ass, but everyone thought I was right, so no one's mad at me?
I mean, that's what I do in my regular imagination.
true.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm confused about. I'm not I'm not
That's
attacking.
what I'm thinking about
When I'm
cutting
confused,
the
it's
grass.
just, to me, it's so interesting because I was trying to get like nailed down specifically what it was, and it's too ethereal.
Yeah, man. I just feel like the what you describe as just dreaming happening while you are awake is so different than like me just like riffing in my own mind that I have to call that something different. To me, that is daydreaming. Because like I'm not always in control of my dreams either, right? And I feel like I have less control the shorter time that I'm in the dreamscape, so to speak.
So, but what are you doing while you're not asleep? But what's your activity you're doing while you daydream? Is there like a common activity that serves as a long?
He's like
pad?
going to the post office and shit. He said.
Yeah, I mean just hanging out with my kids. I mean that's the one that like comes up the most.
Yeah,
Like just like me just like spending a little bit of time with the kids.
Gotcha.
You know, it's Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to explain it any other way. It's just like a regular existence, but that feels very real. And it's almost here's the fucked up creepy part about it. Everything is so mundane that is happening and so normal that it makes it feel even more real. Because there's nothing extravagant happening at all. Like it's not like the sky isn't cool, you know?
What if everyone's eyes were black? That would be really
That would be
scary.
pretty sick.
If everyone had black eyes. Oh man.
Like that one episode of True Blood when they're like,
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be really scary stuff.
Yeah.
Or what if there was like a killer coming after you? That'd be fun.
Yeah. And
This is what daydreaming is supposed to be
keep
like.
in mind that
Sydney.
I'm
There's supposed to be-
describing
there's supposed to be
this
something.
with the premise that it was fucking me up about reality altogether.
Oh man.
You know, that's why I was saying it was so mundane and it was so normal that
That's
it
the
would
real
fuck me up
terror.
about what reality was. Again, this is post finding out
Yeah.
that I was a dead human.
yeah.
Like, dude, I
How long were you dead for?
long enough for the
Well, who
ambulance to
knows?
get there while my mom yeah I
Yeah, I got you.
yeah
Don't remember being like,
yeah no
you have a Wild West bad guy moment. Where you're like,
Sid, how long were you dead? Well, it was either 4 minutes or eternity. I'm not
You know
sure.
what I mean? Yeah, basically, and it's like that, and that's the thing. So here's what I would say. If that happens to a kid, if something like that happens to a kid, you shouldn't tell him.
that he died?
No, a
Yeah.
little kid brain is not ready for that.
What's the wrong word for that? That's the wrong. When they say you died, it's like,
Yeah.
well, you obviously didn't die because you're not dead. So it's like you were fucked up.
Did they
I have
tell
a-
you if
I have a
anyone
friend
gave you
who-
mouth to mouth? Did
I have
they
a friend who's done that 2 or 3 times. He's gone biologically flatlined dead and came back, I think, like multiple times. And he had fucking wild experiences.
Like, what do you mean?
Just like meeting the devil and shit, like crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up and weird.
It's really
Fucked up and weird. And I would imagine that like he started meeting the devil closer to the later ones.
Has he been like open with you about him meeting the devil?
He talked about it the one time. He was like, yeah, like it was just like a weird, like just a really intense situation. But yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
It does sound like a way to sum that up.
Yeah, exactly. And then coming back, like,
Yeah, I think it's I think they're DMT trips. I think like
That's what they
like
say. yeah.
everything that I feel like I experienced sounds very close to what people.
so you did have sights of the other side.
I don't know what I saw.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
just know I had weird like
You had a weird experience.
weird experiences.
That makes
It was,
sense.
it was pretty neat.
So you weren't completely mentally flatlined. You just got. How far
I don't
back do you remember?
see, but dude, I don't know how any of that shit is registered. Like, we don't have a measure of like when like what is still happening in the brain when something goes flatline. Do you know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
I was a stillbirth baby that was flat. I was like flatline
yeah,
born
yeah.
and then resuscitated then. So it's like
You do always be dying.
I do.
Wait, you were dead? You were
Yeah,
dead?
I was a
You came in
stillborn
dead
baby.
too?
That's another thing that I shouldn't have been told. It was a fuck. It was
Yeah, okay.
'cause I was called a miracle. I was called a miracle child. They still call me that.
Miracle Child.
Yeah, I was a dude. It was crazy.
Sid.
It's fucking crazy.
You might be a Greek myth, dude.
call one person on your phone right now who unprompted will call you the miracle child. I want you to call one person who's going to go, is this the miracle child? Give me one person. Give me one contact.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm not calling any of those
What
people.
an absurd claim.
Dude, it's not absurd. They will still bring it up. They will still bring it up. Like, still like you've always
sure.
been lucky.
Yeah, you were-
this is like, and when you're a little kid hearing that shit, it puts a lot of pressure, like a weird.
Yeah.
It's fucked
Oh,
up.
yeah, you have a responsibility to live
Yeah.
up to it, right?
Whatever, being a miracle child. Like people would live their lives all fucked up and then tell me that I owed something different to the world because
You were
of
dead.
my experience.
Dead twice.
Yeah. It's like, oh, so you get the fuck up though? You get the fuck up and have fun? But I gotta, okay, let's see. You know?
Yeah.
So it was like, kind of a weird, it was a weird thing to have people who didn't graduate high school handle.
Death?
Yeah,
That
like,
was-
like telling, like having their child. I'm saying, like, dude, my mom had my sister at like 14,
Yeah.
and then she had me, like 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she didn't know how, like, so in 9 years, you're going to have to tell your son and deal with the fact that he was, like legally dead than alive.
Yeah.
And you gotta deal with that.
True. And to be fair, I don't think any amount of college prepares people for that idea at all.
No.
You just go like,
But like life experience, you
for
know,
sure.
like
There's tact. There's a way to go about it.
Yeah. It's like
maybe I won't tell him he was dead.
Yeah. Or try to use it to throw it in your face every now and again.
I tell my kids,
Dude, so
I tell my kids,
dead
you're gonna be dead if you don't pick those fucking shoes up.
Yeah, what was? How did you
Stop leaving your shoes in front of the front door.
dead
So,
ass fucking
kill you.
bitch?
So there was,
Dead
it was
ass fucking
it was-
bullshit.
it was-
Dead ass fucking pussy motherfucker. Dead as hell.
So the earliest thing she used to do, the first thing she used to do when I first came home from the hospital. So it was a big scene, like with her holding me in her arms until the ambulance got there and everything, and it was like her wailing over her son's dead body.
Yeah.
And then that was her thing for a while. Like ask anybody what I was doing when I was out there. You know, like I love you so much.
Yeah.
Like it was that. For a while.
She screamed Sydney to the heavens.
Yeah, well, Scotty, but yeah.
Scott.
She ain't even scream my government name though.
Goes there.
Yeah.
Scotty, receive my child, please, Lord.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it was just mountains of weird shit. That
Yeah,
was just like,
It's intensely uncomfortable.
dude, it was weird.
You were dead. You'd be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Damn, that's wild.
I downloaded a dramatization of the life of Michelangelo. It's Italian language. I didn't get to watch it. I'm going to watch it this week. And
Really?
report back. Yeah. So just saying, I know you guys are busy. This time next week, I'm going to be the Michelangelo guy, and you guys are going to be posers. Just letting you know.
I know one fact about him.
Yeah.
You're gonna be having me crushed.
Eat my dust.
Do you know anything about the Medicis?
I can call my. Can I phone a friend? Can I phone a wife?
Okay. Yeah.
What are the Medicis?
Those are the people that funded the Sistine Chapel.
They're the money people in ancient
Yeah.
or not ancient Rome.
But they're also probably like early mafia.
Were
You
they?
know? Yeah, they were connected. They were a connected family. So I mean, it's like that's one of the things that makes it tough to get into Michelangelo's, because you have to start getting into his ties, and his ties run deep. You know?
It's
So dramatic. He was kind of a fucking. I mean, from the movie trailer, he was kind of a fucking drama queen.
That's what I heard. Tough to work with. They didn't let him work. He wanted to work down in the catacombs. He wanted to just build. He wanted to be down where like all the dead popes went and build statues down there. And they were like, "Now we're taking you off. You got to go paint this thing." And he threw a fucking fit.
There's a. I don't know if it was in the trailer or if it's like the box art for it, but there's a like a gargantuan block of marble, like the size of a house, and he's just like leaning against it, like getting a feel for it.
Is he always just like see his bird in that movie at all? I feel like you'd see his bird like 100 times.
I don't know yet, but I'll tell you all about it.
You see his bird?
Yeah. I'll go bird watching on whatever the movie is called.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that was a life for all of humanity up until like 1,000 or so years ago.
What, bird watching?
Not a bird. Well, there's probably a lot of bird watching going on, but it was just like we were all being raised by people who had no concept of. I mean, you're saying school basically. It's like, yeah, dude, the whole world was just like, yo, you died. What happens? Be like, there's dragons. That's what's up.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Tom fucked me up about that. I was chilling with Tom, my brother, and we were we had the surprise party for Billy this weekend, and he was telling me he got in this like weird fucking thought hole about like how just fucked up everyone was mentally, like only like 40 years ago compared to today, in terms of just like how people bopped around. And it was like just like a complete lack of awareness, where it was like maybe it was like 50, 60, like dudes like beating their fucking wives. Like when that what used to be kind of like, yeah.
I think it's different, but it's not necessarily better now. I think people are kind of people's brains came online and they instantly handed over the leash.
Well, he was saying what he was talking about was like he watched this thing. He talked to me about. He told me, yeah, true, they gave it over. But he was saying like he watched like a television interview of Timothy Leary, and some dude said something about like shaking his wife up, like physically letting her know, and the crowd like kind of all laughed.
Oh yeah.
They're all like, like sometimes you gotta fucking, you know.
Yeah.
They were all like, I think this was the 70s. People like laughed, and they were like,
You ever see the Sean Connery interview where he talks about hitting a woman?
was that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard of that, or I think I might have seen a clip.
He says it's okay to give him a good slap or something like that.
And when was that?
I think that was in his heyday.
Yeah, 70s.
Right? I don't know. That'd just be fun.
That used to be their version of being like when guys get together and like fucking girls are fucking. They'd be like, yeah, I'd fucking push my fucking wife every now and again. Fuck.
Yeah. There's a direct line between that and man caves.
Dude,
the invention of the man cave.
Imagine how embarrassing
sure.
it was back then if you didn't hit your wife.
You fucking bitch. What are you, whipped?
Yeah, you're not putting her in her place.
pussy whip.
That's
Dude, it'd be so funny though. Game planning, like, yo, we're getting a mountain house. What's up? And you'd be like, yo, let me go have a talk to her. And you're fucking like, I'm fucking going to the mountains, fucking bitch.
I'm gonna hang out with my fucking boys.
You lose.
It would also be fun lying about hitting your wife to the boys when everybody's talking about it.
Oh yeah.
They're- yeah.
She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Dude, did you see that documentary? You watched that with me, the one on HBO, where those two dudes,
Life of Crime?
Life of Crime.
Oh,
they got filed
yeah.
for 30 years, and the guy on
I've tried to
film
watch that a couple times. I keep turning it off.
just goes.
I can't watch that.
It's
dude.
fucked up, dude.
Part where he's like holding her hair and like pretending he's gonna stab her and shit.
Yeah, he's hitting her in the bed, be like, "Shut the fuck up." She's just fucking hard headed, dude. That's what I'm saying. That was like a fucked up area.
Yeah.
But that was like way less sensational. That was in the like 80s, I think, or whenever that was.
Yeah, that was actually a humanizing moment in it back then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's a regular guy like me. It's crazy. He got swept up in all that crime. He seems like such a reasonable fella.
Imagine the guy just filmed too.
And he's just doing a Street Fighter bonus level on a lady.
He just filmed it back then, being like drama. And 30 years later,
No
be like,
way.
dude, why didn't you get in there and stop him from hitting his pregnant? Then again, in his defense, they could have
He
all
probably had to become a documentarian so he didn't have to get involved.
they could have all kicked his ass at any second too.
No,
he'd be like,
but-
yo, dude, stop.
Isn't
They'd be
that
like,
crazy
but
when
also-
you see dudes interviewing like machete guys in the jungle? It's like I'm with the press, dude. Like that's nuts. I would never in a million years be like, I will live amongst you. I'm gonna go live with Al Qaeda to do a journalism story.
That's
Would never in a million years trust that.
terrifying. Just getting over the initial like 5 minutes of awkwardness when you first bust out the camera and be like, come on, guys, just act natural. I wouldn't look forward to that, nor would I look forward to
like
them
I'm not
killing
even
me.
here. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah.
It is also wild how much they love being filmed.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
machete boys and stuff. Like, it's
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
I guess that is okay. That's probably what they're acting on. Like, okay, I'll get unbelievable footage because these guys would love for someone to be paying
And
attention.
the dude from the whatever that Life of Crime doc was like, I'm fucked, but like maybe this will help somebody. And he was like, keep the cam on me, keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he has a
He
change
said
of
that at
heart.
one. I think he had like a very
Yeah, he just shot up and was like
a moment of
up
clarity.
against the counter and was like, yeah, it was a,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have we
Dude.
talked about Dope Sick Love on here before?
No.
Have you ever seen Dope Sick Love? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? It's about junkies in New York in the 90s. It's a documentary.
Yikes.
There are some harrowing moments in there. That's actually, I quote that all the time because there's a part where there's a guy who looks like Kevin Federline on heroin and his girlfriend who's like a blonde girl from the suburbs that just got fucking stuck doing heroin in New York City. And they're like bopping around, like acting like they're the shit, but they're like clearly homeless and dirty. And like, he's not wearing a shirt. He's like wigged out with tattoos. And at one point, like she's having a slow night trying to suck enough dick to get money for drugs. And he goes, okay, well, I can call a guy. And he goes to this old pervert's apartment and lets the old guy suck his dick. And he's wearing a microphone. The camera doesn't go in with him. It's out filming the apartment building from the outside, and he's wearing a microphone. And you can hear the old guy. He's like, oh, well, yeah, you got any more cum in those balls? It's the most, dude, it's the most grotesque. Anyway, say that's like, if I just need the worst sentence to drop someone, like, you got any cum in those balls?
I mean, or did they just figure it out?
What do
They're
you
like,
mean?
what if I don't worry about anything but having a good time? It's like, I figured
Well,
out
yeah.
how to get my dick sucked so I can do heroin.
Yeah, and then I call my dad and ask him to wire me $600 once a year. Dude, they go like clothes shopping at one point. She's like calling her dad, telling a sob story. He sends money. They go. I mean, it's probably on HBO Max.
I've been told to watch it a couple times.
Yeah. Oh man, and that's not even the most electrifying couple. But yeah, that's enough about that. I don't want to.
You don't want to think about that stuff.
I wanna go
There was
on
just
and
that big shooting up at Kensington and Allegheny.
I know. Thank God I got out of there.
Yeah, dude. It's like 11 person.
Yeah, that's the next L stop down. That's the next train stop down from where I would get on to go to work.
Oh,
Yep.
could have got caught in the crossfire.
But people get shot there all the time. It's great. I did see someone call it a mass shooting though.
That's what I saw.
I also saw someone else say it was just a bar shooting. I saw someone go, it's crazy that y'all marking yourselves safe from a bar shooting that you weren't even at. And because the news is finally starting to say these are mass shootings.
Yeah, true. But also, like, true. It's
This is pretty common.
I want to see the manifestos of these. You know what I mean?
What is it? What are they written in?
It's a text like that long on a fucking Android.
It's actually it's an Instagram live.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I was thinking about that today. That's terrifying just to be so charged up with whatever you're up to, where you're like, bro, we're gonna pull up and shoot as many.
A scissor activist went on a rampage today.
Yeah, it is kind of nuts. And they're like mass shoot. I don't. Why didn't they at first anyway?
I don't know, Matt.
It is funny.
Never even thought about that kind of thing before.
And it was just funny. I don't know. It was funny to get into like the semantics behind trying to like filter and spin murders to like certain agendas, being like, nah, they don't play very well. Ooh, that's a good one. Run that. It's like, what happened? 6 little kids got.
I
shot
love
in the
it.
head?
Yeah, the guy with the nicest suit in the entire company is like, great, run it.
Dastardly.
Yeah, that's cool.
So dastardly.
That's cool stuff.
But dude, I didn't tell you. So this is what happened to me at the so I'm at my brother's surprise party. It was very nice. He actually got surprised. It went off.
Did you say where it was?
Barstool.
Oh, okay.
So we got hooked up with a thing at Barstool, and we walked down. He was surprised. Like it actually played out, and I was like biting my nails. I thought he was gonna figure it out. Someone almost spilled the beans to him. So we were like on the thinnest of ice, and it was funny too because we did dinner before that with like just like my mom, my dad, some uncles and stuff, and he thought that's where he was getting surprised at. So he sits through the dinner the whole time, like, what the fuck's going on? And then I had his friend come up and like, yo, let's all go out. And his friend took him in and he got him. But I ended up getting so fucked up because it was an open bar. So I was like, I haven't defeated that mind virus yet in my head where it's like, open bar, I have to make this as worth as much as possible.
Well, you were paying for it.
I don't even like fucking alcohol that much. And I was just like, I got down there and I just started fucking pounding drinks, and it was just like, we gotta finish it. Because I was going around to people being like, this is how embarrassing it is. I'd be like, dudes, we're almost at the limit. Let's definitely get to the limit. Let's not leave anything on the table. People probably
What was the limit? Was it a monetary limit or a volume?
It was like a drink tab. So like they had to get to like, it was like a certain drink tab
you
level.
You pre-purchased the arcade token.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
And they were like, because I also wanted to know to cut it off.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, I'm like, dude, cut that off. Like, don't go. Let's get out of control. I had no idea. It's like 40 people. So I never did that before. So I'm like bopping around. I'm all excited. I'm sitting there just drinking, ripping the vape pen. And I'm the whole time, I think I got so high, I convinced myself I wasn't drunk, which was like such a weird thing. Because I was in a bar with other people who were fucked up. So I'm like talking. I'm like, I didn't feel like my cadence was off or like I was like messing up on ideas or anything. So I'm like, blah, blah, we're talking. I got out of there. And at some point, I had received news of Aaron Carter's death on Twitter. I genuinely don't, and I'm not just saying this like I'm worried about like, you know, people are like, oh, you're getting ahead of this. I'm like, I don't care. I was genuinely disgusted.
You're getting ahead of
I was genuinely disgusted with my own actions where I was like, hey, I don't remember doing it.
Can we green screen a podium in front of Matt right now?
Dude, I retweeted the news of his death with a crying, laughing emoji. Didn't know I did that. Walked out of that place. I went and got ice cream with my wife. I'm like, all right, the Uber's coming. It's like a 7-minute wait. We stopped. There's an ice cream place. We're like, let's get some ice cream while we're waiting. I stood there doing my very best, still thinking like I'm not that fucked up. I'm staring at the ice cream menu for probably like 2 minutes while they're getting stuff together. And I'm like, all right, looking at it, trying to make sense of it. And I'm like, I know what I want. And the lady comes by. I was like, I'll have peanut butter crunch. And she was like, that's a topping. I was like, fuck. And that's when I realized, like, I'm fucked up.
Yeah, I meant stack it high on a waffle cone, please. I know what I'm doing. What do I look like, some kind of fucking idiot?
Dude, and then I got out of there. And so, you know, we go home. I'm still like, all right, that was a fluke. Like, we got this. I get home, and we had a babysitter there. So we're like, all right, like, you guys got, like, you know, we're good here. And they're like, oh, my brother's coming to pick us up. I'm like, cool. So there was a girl and her cousin. We had like a little squad. So like, all right, they come, or they don't do it for like, they don't leave for like 10 minutes. And I'm fucking hungry. So I made a bowl of spaghetti. And I made this gigantic bowl of spaghetti while these two just like young girls sat there. I was sitting there like, guys have a good, and realizing like every word coming out of my mouth was like about to fall out of it. And I was like, you guys have a good night. I'm like, don't mind me, I'm just having some spaghetti. I'm trying to act normal, dude. because it was just stone silence. My back's to them.
Yeah, don't mind me. I've just got diarrhea tomorrow. I'm getting ready.
Dude, I was fucking toast. I was making garlic bread.
Oh, I was so rich.
A big fucking bowl of spaghetti. I was so excited because we made it, and I was like, I'm not gonna eat a lot before I go there. And I got home and just fucking feasted on spaghetti. And it took me to a memory where when I was in high school.
I got to be honest. I could go for some spaghetti now,
dude. I just sat there. I was sitting there like every 5 minutes. I'd be like, the dogs were good. And I was, in my head, I'm like, dude, is it insane that you're making a gigantic thing of spaghetti right now? And I'd be like, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Just don't even bring it up. Just it's your house. Fucking who cares? You want to make spaghetti? Make fucking spaghetti. And I like finally I went down. I brought it to the table, and I was like, I'm Latin massing them. And I completely kept my back to them. Fucking ate spaghetti. I was like, I'm not engaging at all. I'm just hoping they leave.
All right, you boys ready to head over to the Patreon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Danny.
Oh, excuse me.
Our bad.